Good evening, everyone. We are back again. Lauren and I are here to say, ain't nobody gonna break our stride. We are here with our friend Stan Kimmer tonight, very close friend of mine. I'm so happy to have you here, Stan. Stan is a very well-known adult skater. I don't think there's any skater that doesn't know who Stan is these days because he goes to every every competition that exists. Stan is there. He's the biggest fan of so many skaters. He is a national treasure. Stan, I'm going to let you tell us all about yourself, but I just want to let you know that I'm so happy that you're joining us tonight because you're really a major reason why I'm skating. You inspire me so much. You inspire so many of us in the adult community. I was fortunate enough to go to nationals with you a few years back
Yeah.
and have that experience. And so I love you as a friend. I love everything that you do. So thank you for being on the show tonight. And I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'll introduce myself and maybe do like a 3 minute overview of how I
Yeah.
got into skating. Actually, I worked at IBM for many years, and when I retired early at age 55 and went to part-time work, I was always a big figure skating fan, and I thought, oh wow, now that I have more time, I can start going to like U.S. nationals as a fan. And I went to like 3 or 4 US nationals. I went to one Skate America. And then I started going to US figure skating receptions and getting to meet some of the top figure skaters and building relationships with them and building real genuine relationships with some of our top skaters, people like Jason Brown. And then I realized, they're getting so much joy out of skating. Maybe instead of just watching and sitting on the couch or sitting in the stands, I should try to do this myself without
Hmm.
any prior experience. And I did a little online research and found that there was such a thing as adult figure skating. And I also found the Dorothy Hamill Fantasy Adult Figure Skating Camp online, and it was going to be like in October. And here it is like in April. And I said, I'm just going to sign up, send in my deposit, even before I start skating, get myself skates, get myself a coach, and start this journey. And there was no looking back after that. It was just the Dorothy Hamill camp was fantastic. Uh, I felt like this is what I was meant to do.
Well, so Dorothy Hamill was actually there.
Yes, and one thing about Dorothy Hamill's, some people have these skating camps and they name them after big or like basketball camp named after a famous coach,
Yeah.
and they show up for like 15 minutes.
Right.
Dorothy Hamill was there the entire time
Wow.
with the adults, and part of the camp is every skater got 1 hour of private lessons with Dorothy Hamill. And
Oh my gosh. Does
she's
she still do this?
no, she stopped doing the camps about 4 years ago. But she is so affirming and she's so loving and she's so caring and she really helps.
You had
She
one
really,
full
really
hour with her.
yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
she had other people there like Randy Gardner and Jojo Starbuck,
Starbucks.
you
Mm,
know, skaters who've been national champions.
Yeah.
You've actually got an hour with each of them.
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
That name JoJo Starbuck, I think I had a lesson with her when I was younger too.
Did you really?
I think I did.
Is
Yeah.
she from the Chicago area?
Uh, No, she's in
She
New York, New
Okay.
Jersey, New York now.
I do remember working with her though. That name sounds so
I
she's
thought for some
blonde,
reason she
right?
was in Chicago
Yes, and
earlier.
what's interesting is she actually was my coach at my first Eastern Sectionals
Really?
because Eastern Sectionals was in northern New Jersey where she lives, and because I had those lessons with her at the Dorothy Hamill camp, I contacted her, and she was just simply marvelous.
Wow.
Putting
Beautiful.
me on the ice and coaching me and encouraging me at my first, big competition.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well, I'm hoping that at some point in this podcast we'll be able to see maybe a glimpse of your skating if you want to like to share a video with us.
I'm going to do that, but I have it lined up. And
Okay.
Lauren, before you came on, see, I'm really good with Zoom, so I know how to like share with sound and video.
Good. Well,
And
guess what? This is the learning curve. So that's the name of our podcast, the learning curve. So we
Sure.
are totally okay with making mistakes and learning as we
oh
go because that's
no,
totally what we're all about.
it's gonna work. And
Oh,
then
I'm
what
sure it'll
happens
work for you. It wouldn't work for me, but it will work for you.
when you have other adult skaters on, you can ask them to share a video of one of their
I
That's
programs.
a
love
really good
that.
idea.
That's a great idea, Stan. Thank you.
So I'll tell you a little bit what I've done is, I started the training, and of course I thought, oh, I'm just going to jump on the ice and fly around. And I get on the ice, and it's like, holy cow, this is hard. I was like taking these little baby steps, and then I realized, and I shared this with other adult skaters, it is a long journey. You're not going to get on the ice if you're starting from scratch and just start flying. I had to like start with these little baby steps, then little glides and then maybe like 4 weeks later I could glide on one leg, and then after 2 months I was like pushing myself back from the wall, wiggling my butt trying to go backwards, and I finally figured that out. So it's
It's
really
not easy.
worth the time and investment, but it is hard
Very
and
hard.
it does take a lot of work.
It does.
So, I've been at it for 10
That's
years
what I
now. I
thought.
started at about age 59. I just turned 70.
Did you hear that,
Uh,
everyone, listeners? 70 years old. 70
yeah.
years old. This man is still competing and doing jumps and spins.
Yep. And so, and I've tested it took me like 7 years to pass all the tests to get to bronze, because one of my goals is I wanted to go and compete at US Adult Nationals. And you have to be bronze level to
Mhm.
do that. And what's really good about adult nationals is they break it down by age groups. So I get to skate with the people that are 66 and above, which is much more fair than trying to skate against someone who's 26 or 27. And I've had a really good run. I've gotten three
Yeah.
gold medals and two silver medals
I love
in my
love
four
seeing your
years at
posts with your
adult nationals.
medals.
Yeah, I'll show you my program now. This is
Okay.
one of my favorites because it's from my favorite Broadway play, Book of Mormon, and that really inspired me to design this program. And for adult skating, you have both your free skate, which is your technical program, and then you also have showcase, where you can have props, and you can either do light entertainment and character showcase, or you can do emotional. So this is my character light
Okay.
entertainment, and I actually got a gold medal at adult nationals in all places of New York, Salt Lake City,
Wow.
appropriate for
Nice.
Book of Mormon. So I'll go ahead and show this now.
Okay.
That's so fun.
I've always had the hope that on the day I go to heaven, Heavenly Father will shake my hand and say, "You've done an awesome job, Kevin. Now it's our time to go out and set the world free. We can do it together, you and me, but mostly you and me, but mostly me, are gonna change the world forever. 'Cause I can do most anything, and I can stand next to you and watch. Every hero needs a sidekick, every captain needs a mate. Every dinner needs a side dish, but a slightly smaller plate. And now we're seeing eye to eye. It's so great we can agree that Heavenly Father has chosen you and me, but me mostly. And there's no limit to what we can do, me and you, but mostly me.
Wow, Stan. That was
So
wonderful.
good.
So
So
good. Oh
entertaining.
my gosh. I loved that.
That was so good. It was so much fun.
Oh,
Do you feel
my question.
exhilarated when you perform?
I love, yeah, see, I love performing. And I actually joke with some with my coaches like I do better when I have an audience and judges to skate in front of.
I've heard people
Sometimes
say
it's
that.
hard to get that emotion when you're in practice
Mhm.
because you're not really performing for anybody. But then when you're out there on the ice and you see an audience, you see the judges out there, that
Yeah.
really just gets me excited and kind of raises my performance to another level.
And do you find that because there are few men, male skaters, and also older male skaters, do you find that you get a lot of support from the adult skating community? Like they're
Oh,
enthusiastic that you're out there doing this?
absolutely. And that's one of the great things about the adult skating community. It is so supportive and everybody is so friendly and everybody is rooting for each other.
Yeah.
I also like the language we use with each other. Like,
Yeah.
I don't say I compete against you. We say I compete with you. We compete
Oh,
with each
Oh,
other, and we're all rooting for each other and
yeah.
wanting the best for each other. And like
oh.
going to adult nationals and going to sectionals, it's almost like a big family reunion
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
skating with the same friends over again. Like there's one adult skater named Wendy Bauer, and she remembered when I ice monitored for her back in 2017 before I was able to go to nationals, and I was her ice monitor for a program, and she came in like second place, and then she ice monitored for me two
Oh,
years ago in my free skate, and I came in second place. And we
oh,
kind of joked about how we kind of had that good vibe together.
that's
Yeah.
And
like
there's
full
friends
circle.
like that every year you see them and you skate with each other and you
Shout out
support
to
each
Wendy.
other.
Stan, I was listening to your video of you speaking about your journey, and one thing that stuck out is how you said that what drew you to skating was it's like the performing arts combined with the
Uh,
athletic, and how that's so unique. I'm wondering, did you grow up in like theater or performing? Is that why you tend to like that category?
What's interesting because I actually I did some theater in high school and even got an acting award. But then after
Oh,
You
that, it
never
was
told me
college and
that.
career, and I never did acting again. So it was like maybe a hidden thing I've always wanted to do.
mhm,
And then I grew up in a very athletic family. Everybody in my family has been fairly athletic. I probably was the one that was the least athletic.
mhm,
So I felt, oh gosh, this is a chance for me to try to be athletic,
Yeah.
but also in a kind of a venue where I can perform and do some acting. Uh,
And yeah, you do. So like I know that a lot of skaters that I talk to, including myself, that's the music. I love
the oh
the feeling that we get from the music, right?
mhm.
Do you feel that? Like do you pick
yeah.
your own music for your
Yeah,
performances?
it's funny. I have a list of like 40 songs to use in the future with skating, and it's things like, okay, I'll watch a movie and a song will
Mhm,
really hit me,
mhm,
or in this case, I went to, I've seen the Book of Mormon maybe 10 times, and it's like my favorite musical, and also Hairspray is one of my favorite musicals, and I do a program where I'm Corny Collins
Yeah, I've seen that.
the Hairspray program. And then I also like to pick songs where I know I will not grow old, I will not get tired of them.
mhm.
So, if I have like 100 lessons in a year and do two program run-throughs, that's listening to that music 200 times.
Yeah.
And I pick stuff where I know I'm not going to grow tired of it. I can hear it 200 times
Like
and it
Spider-Man,
still speaks to me.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Derek, I'm gonna have to tease you right now
Okay.
because you always say you're gonna come see me compete and
Yeah.
you don't show up. And I am competing on Saturday
This
at,
Saturday?
yes, 3
Okay.
o'clock, 3:10, I'm doing Spider-Man, and 4 o'clock, my new Romeo and Juliet program.
Okay. I will be there. What rink are we talking about?
The Invisalign.
Okay. I'm there. I'm
Oh,
there.
and so you have to see,
Oh,
you've seen her before, but you see my
Oh,
Juliet.
Romeo,
gosh,
that's Juliet.
that's
Yes.
Juliet.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, because oh yes, so it's an emotional program where I'm
oh.
so
Did
happy,
Robin
I'm
work
in
on that for
love.
you? Robin?
I'm in love to visit Juliet, and then I see her laying there asleep, and I'm afraid she's dead, and I turn to total despair, and I drink the poison and die beside her.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So Stan, I have to ask you this. Have you heard of there's another musical out that's called And Juliet?
Ah, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
I want to go see it. It's supposed to be like a different story, like it ends differently, Lauren,
Right.
as opposed to, and they like rewrite it.
Oh,
And the music is amazing. It's so
mm,
good. Yeah.
I love that.
Anyway,
I want
Yes,
to
I
know
love
what
I love like watching movies and going to
Mhm.
plays, and a lot of times that music inspires me
Inspiration.
for
Yeah.
a program. And actually, for the first time, my coach picked my song for my free skate, and it does work, and I'm very pleased with the selection.
Awesome.
So I let her do it once.
which coach? Because you have several.
Oh, that's the that's life.
Okay, but which coach picked it for you though?
Robin.
Okay.
Um, one story about my first coach that I had is when I was just, I was an entry-level skater. I was going to do like a basic four program, and I picked a pop song that was popular on the radio, and I said, I just love this song. And, I played it for my coach, and she goes, That's not going to work." And we're trying to test other music. And then, I was driving to the rink, and it came on the radio again, and I said, That's it. I'm putting my foot down, and I'm telling Paula, this is the song I'm going to skate to. So I walk into the rink, and before I opened my mouth, Paula said, I've been rethinking it, and I think that song's going to work.
Oh my
See
God,
that?
Yep.
that's awesome.
She was like
So,
she probably was feeling your enthusiasm about it, and it was just overwhelming. And she just thought,
Mhm.
let's do it.
mhm. I also skated that program at the Dorothy Hamill camp in front of Dorothy Hamill.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
And it's funny because, my coach, my first coach, I was gonna skate in the Nutcracker on ice, and she was gonna play the role of the mother, and I was gonna be the role of the father. And she was like, she says, I love to coach these kids, but I'm a little bit nervous about skating in front of all the parents and everything. And I said, You think you're nervous skating in front of the parents? I skated in front of Dorothy Hamill.
I love that. Stan, where do you get like your prop, the doll, like the big, I don't know, what do you call them? The
The puppet.
puppet? Yeah, where do you get
Actually,
those?
actually, I had a puppet master who's a
Oh,
professional puppeteer make me Juliet, and
oh wow.
he also made me the the Book of Mormon, the Mormon
Oh,
puppet.
yeah.
And when I did my debut of Romeo and Juliet back last month, he and his wife actually came.
Oh, that's
Uh,
Really?
and we
awesome.
took pictures and everything with Juliet and with him. And he really is kind of excited that he got to, create these puppets for me.
So
It's
based on what
wonderful.
I've seen like of your performances over the years, you have a really widespread sort of genre. You've done lots of different characters, lots of different um, some are more serious than others, some are
Yeah.
more comical than others. Do you enjoy having that like just being able to play all these different characters and have that breadth of
I really do
artistry?
like variety, and I want to like show to people out there and to judges that I can do a wide range of things in terms of a slow, serious program with great movement, a fun, lively program that's very fast moving.
I
Uh,
recall one time years ago, I think you performed to "I'm Too Sexy," didn't you?
yes, I am going to bring that back at some point.
You're
Uh,
gonna bring "Sexy" back?
yeah,
I
because
was just gonna say that, Derek. You stole
You
the
set
words out.
yourself up
yes.
for that one, Stan.
Yeah. I have the right fed program, where I'm too sexy. I'm too sexy for my car, and I have a steering wheel and then I'm too sexy for my hat, and I throw it off. And then there's the line, I'm too sexy for my shirt, and I take off my shirt and I have this little red tank top underneath.
I
Uh,
love
and so I did that program before I was qualified to go to adult nationals. So I
Uh,
feel I can bring it back
it.
as a comedic program for a future.
Justin Timberlake would love it if you brought "Sexy" back.
Ah,
Mhm.
I could do a mashup of both songs.
Yes, I think that you should. That's a
I'm
really,
bringing
really
sexy
good.
back, and then I'm too sexy. Hey, that's a great idea.
Hey,
Oh, like
I'm
a
here all night.
mashup, a medley.
Right.
That's good. That would be fun. Stan, how often do you skate during the week?
Hmm.
I usually train about 4 days a week, for
Wow.
an hour. Uh, and then I usually go to 1 week-long skating camp a year because that I found really helpful. If you can, if you go to a skating camp and you go 6 hours a day for 5 days,
The skate,
Yeah,
Stan,
you can get like 4 months of growth in
that's
1 week.
how do you do? I mean, because you
wow.
have your own business. You're a very successful businessman. You travel to all over the world. You do so much. You're the most balanced person I have ever met in my
Uh,
life. How do
Hmm.
you manage to do all these things and then still fit in skating?
Hmm.
well, first of all, when I did retire from full-time work at IBM and those 50 to 60-hour work weeks, ugh,
Hmm.
when I started my business, I built a business model of only working 30 hours a week
Hmm.
Okay.
and having flexibility. When you run your own business, I could like work from 6:30 in the morning to 8 and then go skate and then come back and and then work some more.
Yeah.
And then also, even when I travel for my business, actually, I even did it. I have a client that's near Austin. I actually brought my skates and did some skating lessons with coaches in Austin. So sometimes I can
Wow.
even travel with my skates and find a local coach. And also, I recommend that for adult skaters because if you can travel with your skates and get some skating time at another rink, that
Hmm.
really gets you used to the concept of going and competing at different rinks. That, hey, if I can skate at 10 different rinks during a year, that
Hmm.
makes me more comfortable when I go to a competition because I'm used to going to different
I want to
rinks.
ask both of you that both of you, since you have both of you have a lot of experience in performing in different rinks. Is there one rink
Oh,
that you just always feel more comfortable skating in, or do you feel like it doesn't matter? Ice is ice.
okay. There, for the most part, ice is ice, but I've always done great at the rink in Dale City, Virginia. For some reason, I've always
Hmm.
done well there. And there is one rink I will not compete in anymore. It's the Skating Club of Wilmington in Wilmington, Delaware, the Carruthers rink. Uh,
Hmm.
it is like a sheet of glass. You can
Really?
push one little push and glide across the whole ice. And because
Hmm.
of that, I feel I'm totally out of control.
Oh,
I
okay.
like the ice to be a little bit soft where I do get to
Excuse me, guys.
work and
Sorry.
push
Yeah.
because then I can also I can maintain control.
Okay. What about you, Lauren?
I well, when you asked that question, my first thought was where I wouldn't where I had
Yeah.
difficulty skating. When I competed, I was going to ask you this, Stan, because you Lake City, was the altitude a problem for you out there?
Good question.
That's another question because, like, I actually went and competed twice at the Colorado State Games in Colorado Springs, which is like 6,500 feet above sea level.
Mhm.
For some reason, altitude does not bother me a bit.
Uh,
I am
Yeah.
very fortunate.
yeah, that's really good. I did a competition in Boulder, Colorado when I was in high school, and I could not. I mentioned to Derek I had like exercise induced asthma, and I was probably skating like a 3.5 minute program, and I could not get through that program and breathe. It was so difficult. So that's
It's
Yeah,
sticks
I
it's
used to
out.
funny
live
because
in Colorado. I remember like when I first moved there, the
yeah,
first few months I would have nosebleeds.
because
Yeah.
I also won a charity auction to go to Champs Camp and get to and
Cool.
hobnob with some of the top skaters. And then we get to watch their programs, their early programs,
Oh,
and
that's so
they
exciting.
get feedback. And I remember it was Colorado Springs, and Ashley Wagner did her long program, and then she comes off the ice. I'm dying.
Oh my gosh.
It was so early in the season, so she wasn't fully conditioned yet, and it was like she was gonna like pass out right there on the ice
So
because
Stan,
of the
being as
altitude.
though you're so well connected and in the skating world, I have to ask you this. I don't think I know the answer, but I might have a guess. But who is your favorite skater?
Oh, oh my gosh. That's gonna get me in trouble. Uh, because I have so many favorites, and usually it changes, as the season goes on. But
Not to say your
always
favorite crush. I'm talking about your favorite skater.
okay. This might surprise you a little bit, but I have a reason for naming her. I've always loved Mirai Nagasu.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because I always supported her even
Yeah.
during her hard times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went to a reception, for fans,
Yeah.
When I walked into the room, Mariah Nagasta was there, and she said to one of the staff members, "That's my favorite fan." And
Oh,
pointed to
Aw,
me because
that's
she knew I
wonderful.
always supported her no
wasn't
matter,
she on Dancing with the Stars also?
no, that
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Was she? Oh wait, maybe she was.
it was. She was the same.
She
She was on the
was.
same
That's
year.
right, Derek.
She was on the same year that
The
Adam
Olympics.
Rippon won.
Yeah.
I was the starter of Adam Rippon's fan club back when he was like a 17-year-old kid. So
No
that's a little
way.
piece of trivia.
I really
Yes.
like his skating too.
Yeah. But
Wow.
I love them all. Jason Brown is wonderful. I've
Yeah.
always loved Ashley Wagner and her guts. I love Gracie Gold. And now, of course, you've got to love Alyssa Liu and her comeback story. I've always been a big Amber Glenn fan. I've supported
Yeah.
her during her hard times and
Yeah.
always rooted for her. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Dan, can I ask you like a fan question? You were at the World Championships, right?
yes.
What was that women's event like? And what was the energy? I'm imagining so electric how well Alyssa skated, and then just like being there with all of our top girls. I think we all got in the top 5, right? For the
Yeah.
women.
Uh, we were one, 4, and 5.
5, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Amber Glenn was fifth, and then Isabel Levito was fourth, and
Mhm.
Alyssa Liu won. It was like electric
Yeah.
because because people did not expect it. Alyssa Liu came in second at U.S. Nationals. I think she came in like fourth and fifth at her Grand Prix assignments.
Mhm.
And it's like, she had like an outside chance of getting a medal, and to see her do what she did, and she had so much joy and so much energy. And of
Stan.
course, I'm there in the front row screaming
I
and
could see you
yelling.
on the TV stand. Could you
Oh,
feel
I
her
know.
sense?
He's on the TV.
Could you feel her sense of because when she through the watching on TV, she skates like she has no care in the world. Could you feel that from her? Like she was just skating like wild abandonment, kind of just like letting it all go.
Absolutely, and I think that's why she did so well.
I
Yeah.
think so
And
too.
I remember she had a quote. She says, "I take my training seriously, but
Mhm.
I don't take competing seriously."
That's
You
awesome.
know,
I wish I could.
that
So that was her. What about, so Stan, to end this, because we're getting close to the end of our time here, I'm just curious. What would you say? What would you tell skaters that are just starting out or who want to start skating? What advice do you have for them to be successful?
I say, first of all, realize it is a long, long journey that's going to take a lot of commitment. You're not going to get on the ice and start flying around and doing triple axels, in 3 months.
Yeah.
You have to be committed for the long haul, in terms of, it took me 10 years to get to where I am today. Use get a good coach,
Yeah.
and also get some resources to assist you, like working with Eileen Urich, who was in one of the
Yes.
earlier episodes.
You work with Eileen.
Right, I think I advanced as quick as I did because of working with her,
Yeah.
learning how to train my body to do what I wanted to do. Get that connection of, that
Absolutely.
you can actually, instead of like just flopping around, you can actually direct your body. Because when you do a jump or a spin, you have to have everything right, your arms, your legs, your shoulders, everything. And number 3 is do it because it brings you joy and
Yeah.
happiness. That, hey, if you try it for 3 months and you absolutely hate it, maybe it's not for you. But, for me, it was like I, trained for 5 or 6 months. I went to the Dorothy Hamill camp. We did a little show for the local fans. I wasn't moving too well, but I was having a great time out there. And when the show was over, I was almost in tears saying, "This
Oh,
is what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
I
beautiful.
found my thing."
Oh,
Yeah.
so inspiring,
So
Stan.
inspiring. Well, gosh,
We call you Stan the Man because
Yeah.
we think you're so
Oh,
inspiring.
Dan, I hope that we can have you on again sometime, Stan. And I love that you shared that video with us. So of
Yes,
your
we could do
skating.
some more videos next time.
that'd be
And
fun.
hey, Derek, remember 3:10 and 4 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely.
This
At,
is
I have it written
documented,
down.
Derek. You cannot get out of it.
Hey, you know what? I have a better idea. I can actually record some of it
Yeah.
and put it on the next podcast.
That would be awesome.
There we go.
Great idea. Well, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna break Stan's glide.
No.
Our stride. Anybody's
For his
glide.
pride. Nobody's going to break his pride.
And it's Pride Month. Here's
Yeah.
my pride bracelet.
Oh yeah, because I actually did the program. I had a comedic program called Totally Gay, that I did in Florida that kind of poked fun at Ron DeSantis.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Well,
sometimes
you
you
like to
can
push
make a
the envelope a
statement.
little
You can
bit,
also
don't you,
make
Stan?
you can also make a statement with your skating.
You know what? Can I just say one more thing? We just had #Jimmy on, and he talked about that, how you can sort of send a message through the art form of skating.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's such a unique.
Stan definitely does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I had several people come up to me afterwards and said, "Thank you so much for doing that program."
I love
Yeah.
that. Oh, well, thank you
Well,
for
Stan,
speaking
you're
with
loved
us.
and adored by so many of
Oh,
us,
thank you.
not only in this country, but I think around the world. So I really appreciate you joining us tonight. And we'll have you on again, I'm sure.
You were fun. Love it.
Very good. I enjoy the whole podcast series that you're doing,
Thank
and I
you.
look forward to being with you all again someday.
Hey, maybe we'll be at Nationals someday
Yeah.
and commentating, and you can be a guest with us there too.
Yes. And Derek, we'll see you in 2 days.
All right, sounds good.
2 days, Derek.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.